Hi, it's me. Let me ask you, you ever go back to a spiritual book or movie that you've seen before and suddenly you're saying, wait, was this always in there? Well, neuroscience actually confirms that every time we recall something, we actually change it a bit. The whimsical little spiritual exercise that I will share with you in this video not only addresses that little memory glitch, it also does a lot more. So stay with me. After years of a minister and a teacher, I've seen this absolutely transform people. I use it myself all the time. I'll never forget, this is some years ago, a moment from ministerial school. I was raving, I was going on and on about this book that I really found to be incredibly powerful. A friend of mine, a fellow student, shrugged and said he'd read it once, but it didn't really hit him anywhere. It didn't really do anything for him. So, still, because I was so passionate about it, he said he'd give it another shot. Well, a few weeks later, he sought me out, came up to me, was absolutely glowing. He thanked me profusely for prompting him to revisit the book, and he said, I can't believe it's the same book. Now it's one of his favorites. Sometimes it's not about finding something new. It's about seeing something familiar, but in a different light and in a new time in your life. There's a quote, it's one of my favorites. It's often attributed to Mark Twain. Nobody really knows for sure. I just credit it to that wise old author, Anonymous. Does a lot of good stuff. It goes like this. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. My friend knew for sure what was in that book, but he was wrong. And here's where the neuroscience bit comes in. A researcher, her name is Daniela Schiller, she tells us that every time we recall a memory, we actually change it. We break it a little. Our memories aren't fixed. They're rewired each time we touch them. So what does that mean for your spiritual memory? It means that even the most powerful spiritual truths can fade into the background over time. Life gets busy. Old thought patterns creep up. And what once felt transformative, we now just kind of take for granted. We don't give it much thought. But spiritually speaking, there are no accidents. The problem isn't what you've learned. It's what you've forgotten to remember. Or better yet, what you've forgotten to live. That's where the transformation comes in. So here's the fanciful little notion that came to me because of this intriguing little memory glitch. But I invite you to take a serious look at it. This is about what I've come to call edit angels. Now, whether or not you believe in angels doesn't matter. That's not the point. I'm not so sure I do. But the results are the same. It's an interesting little tickle into your consciousness. The idea is this. Imagine that while you sleep, these angelic editors, they sneak into your inner library where everything you've learned is filed away. And these little elves, they appear to change something in that inner library. They don't actually change books on your library shelf. They don't really rewrite the books you've read before. They rewrite your awareness of what's in them. But you could take a look around at some books that you've got, and you would swear those books themselves have changed. I've done this. You probably have too. So these edit angels, they gently adjust your perception so the next time you return to a spiritual book, even a familiar one, it could be a quote, a movie, a book, something that you've seen before, and you pretty much forgot about. But now, even though you thought you knew it, it seems there's some totally new stuff in there. And that stuff is applicable to your life right now. Now suddenly, in that situation. A line you skimmed past before hits you like a bolt. And we can assume it was probably always there, you just weren't ready for it at the time. And again, it's not just books. Edit angels loved music, lyrics, movies, old journal entries, voice memos, even random conversations from your past. They'll invite you to take another look at one of these things at the perfect moment in your life when you're finally open to receiving what's there. Here's how you can actually make a powerful spiritual practice from this whimsical little idea. You can do this on purpose. There are 5 simple steps, and I'll describe them, I'll go through them, but I'm also going to put them in the description section below. Be sure you have something to write with, because you'll probably want to keep notes. Not now, but later. No point in remembering something just to forget it all over again. Our human egos are funny that way. So step 1, pick up a spiritual book you haven't touched in a while. Don't overthink this. Just pick up what seems to be any random book. And 2, open that book to any seemingly random page. Now 3, settle in on some passage in the book. Now read it slowly, take your time, and let the words sort of settle in a bit. 4, notice what stands out, especially if it's something you missed before. And when something like that shows up, this is step 5, something speaks to you, you write that down, especially if there's some resistance there. Watch out for the ego song, "I already know that." If it sings, that means there's something to write down. You can do the same thing with a movie. Just watch a movie that meant something to you once. It could be The Wizard of Oz, Star Wars, or an old Disney classic. But this time, just notice what feels different, what feels new. You can even revisit your own journal or listen to an old voice recording. There could well be solid spiritual gold in there that you completely overlooked or apparently forgot about. That's your spiritual guidance, awakening, reawakening in real time. That's the work of your edit angels. Now, this isn't magic. Might be a little whimsical, but it's certainly sacred. And you may be wondering, why is this looking backwards worth doing? Okay, well, there are 2 reasons. 1, because anything worth knowing is worth making sure you remember it. And 2, it's very cost effective. Why buy a new book when you can find something wonderfully new in one you already own? Just imagine how much time and money you will save by revisiting the solid spiritual gold you've already paid for and that already sits in your library, just waiting for the right time for you to visit. And just think of it more, instead of constantly chasing new answers, looking out there for, where the grass may be greener. What if we all just slowed down and let something inside of us awaken to what was always there, but it just fell below our level of awareness? And there it rests, just waiting for us to finally reawaken to it. Imagine how much deeper we could all live. It's like having a time machine. Think of it. You get to go back and give yourself another chance, a chance to see something again, like it was for the first time. I guarantee you that will invoke real spiritual growth. Not necessarily stacking up new teachings, although that's certainly a worthwhile endeavor, but rediscovering and now embodying the truth that's already been with you all along. So go ahead, revisit something. Let the edit angels surprise you. And hey, you might even want to rewatch this video. The second time through, don't be surprised if the edit angels leave a little something extra in there for you. Something that you didn't notice the first time through. Before you go, I invite you to share what your edit angels brought back into view. Was it a quote, a song, a forgotten insight? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. And if this video helped reignite something in you, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and pass it along to someone else. Somebody who might need a little reminder of what they already carry at hand. Sometimes it's helpful to do that, to give those edit angels a little help. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.